Hi, this is Brandon Moon with Leland Fly Fishing. Thank you for joining us tonight as we tie up one of our favorite dry fly patterns to fish, the Purple Haze. We're going to be tying this in a size 14, and hopefully you enjoy this tie compared to, it's a little different than some of the other Purple Haze you see tied. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So for our hook today, we're going to use the Moonlit Tagata ML 101. The Tagata series hooks are manufactured in Japan and are a fantastic hook to tie on. So we're going to pull that one out and we're going to get started. Get my hook lined up in the vise. For our thread, we're going to be using Semperfli Classic Waxed thread in purple. I use the Norvise tying system, so I'm going to be using, this is their automatic bobbin. My vise is the Legacy C purple vise. Okay. So I'm going to start this thread about a quarter of the way down the shank. I need that tag end, so I'm going to set that off to the side. Okay. For our post here, we're going to tie in Semperfli poly yarn in the cream. Semperfli's poly yarn is pre-treated, so that's a bonus. It has a density less than water at 0.94, so that makes it extra buoyant. Okay. I'm going to take and I'm going to pull just a few fibers out of that just so that it's not quite so thick. Okay, I'm going to lay this straight across the hook shank, and then I'm going to tie it in with 2 or 3 wraps over the top, and then I'm going to do a couple sequential wraps around the edges. Now we're just going to tie up our post going upwards. I can't pull too tight on this because if I pull too tight, I'm going to pull that thread right off the post. We'll lock that in. Just a little more. I've got a few strands of poly yarn here. I'm just going to trim those off. Now I've got this tag end. I'm going to use this tag end to take and wrap rearward. One last piece of yarn there. There we go. Now I'm just going to wrap rearward. I'm going to use this tag end here to help kind of create a nice smooth thread base for my underbody here. Okay, I'm going to wrap that all the way to the bend of the hook. Now I'm still not taking that tag end and clipping that off because I'm going to use that to help my tail here. Okay, for my tail I'm using the rust brown. It is the hen's microfibets. I'm going to get me 4 of these microfibets. I'm going to keep each of the tips of these lined up. You could do it with 2. I just like to tie it with 4. Now I've got my 4 microfibets. I've got the tips lined up. We're going to measure that tail to be roughly the hook shank, length of the hook shank. Okay, I'm going to give 2 wraps. Then I'm going to make sure I pull that on top. Now I'm going to trim that down there at the base of my post. Another wrap. Now I'm going to pull these microfibets up. I'm going to push them and splay them with my finger. Okay. I can doctor them up with my fingers just a little bit. I'm using that tag end to help split those tails. Okay, clip that off, wrap that secured in. Now we'll wrap rearward towards the tail again. We still want to create a nice smooth even underbody, so our wraps need to be nice and smooth. Now I'm going to take and do 2 wraps underneath. Then I'm going to split that tail. That's going to help separate them again. I can use my fingers to doctor that up a little bit. Looks like I'm there we go. Now for the body, we're going to take this hen's body quill in the claret color for the body. We're just going to tie that in. Nice loose wrap as I capture it. I'm going to wrap rearward just to make sure I get that all the way back to that tail tie-in point. Now I'll wrap it forward just a little bit, and then we'll clear and trim those off. I like a little bit of a taper to mine. This is a very thin profile body fly, but I still like a little bit of a taper to mine. So I'm going to create that taper, wrapping rearward and forward, stopping short and forward again, so I get that nice taper to this body that I'm looking for. I still want it to be slim, but a little bit of a taper is always good. So I'm going to take and I'm going to whip finish this off so I can use the rotary part of my Norvise here. And we're going to wrap the body. We're just going to wrap that all the way up to the post. Each wrap next to the previous, just like I would basically with a quill. Just a lot easier to work with this versus an actual quill. Now we've got that locked in, trim it off. Now we're ready for our hackle. And for our hackle today, we're going to be using a dark barred ginger. Okay. I want to tie this in with the shiny side facing me, so that when I wrap it, I'm going to wrap it shiny side down. Okay. So I'm going to strip that hackle there. Got a stray fiber there. Okay. So I'm going to tie that in. I'm going to hold that up so that my hackle fiber doesn't want to rotate on me, causing a problem when it comes time to wrap the hackle. I've learned I don't want as much, I don't want to make my wraps up my parachute too high. I want my parachute to be actually fairly thin. So for the dubbing, we're going to use Semperfli Superfine in lavender. This is going to give us a little bit of a color contrast. Really, that is all you're going to need. You don't see a whole lot there because it's just a really small pinch. Again, this is a very thin bodied profile. I'm just going to make a nice tight dubbing noodle to wrap my thorax here. Okay, now that's done, we're going to wrap our hackle. We're going to wrap that in sequence, one wrap next to the other, about all the way down to the base where the dubbing is. Now I'm going to take my thread and go underneath the hackle fibers I wrapped and over the top of my hackle stem on my side, and then the third wrap I'm going to go underneath of it. That's just going to secure it in for me. Okay, now I'm going to snip out my hackle stem and trim out my post. I like my post a little bit longer and cut it in an angle. Okay, so you can see there we are there. Now you can whip finish this at this point, but I've learned a trick from Clark at Fly Fish Food, and I actually take some super glue Put a little super glue on there. Now I'm going to run a couple wraps around there and snip that out. I've been doing this technique for 2 years now, and I've had not one post unravel on me, and it keeps it nice and clean, not having to whip finish. So here you have a Purple Haze. This one's in a size 14. Can be tied all the way from a size 10 or 12 up to a size 22. The smaller sizes are going to be great for matching your midge hatches as well. So thank you for watching us tonight. Make sure and hit the subscribe button, then the bell, and hit Alt so you can receive all notifications from us. And don't forget to hit thumbs up and comment on our post.